Welcome to Game 8 Reviews.
Hey there everyone! Game 8 Reviews here, and welcome to our review of an indie rhythm game for the PC called Rhythm Doctor. This wonderful game is made by an indie studio named 7th Beat Games, who focus on rhythm titles, so you know they have experience with this genre and it is in good hands. This title is also still in early access, so things may still change before we see a final release. Although this is not to say you'll find the content lacking for now. This game, even though in early access, has a lot of content to justify its current pricing of $15.99 US. Let's find out together whether this bopping and interesting rhythm game is for you, and whether it is worth the time to master this simple piece of interactive music. While the game does have an underlying story, there is not much to it. It is a rhythm game after all, and the main focus of this is the gameplay and music. The main gist of the story is that you are a new intern hired to work remotely at a hospital, and you are busy treating patients' hearts with new technology. The way you do this is by syncing their heartbeats by pressing the spacebar to the beat of music found in the game. Throughout the story, you'll encounter different types of patients, all with different problems with their hearts. Some of these problems are due to too much caffeine, or some just have very irregular heartbeats. Whatever the ailment may be, it is your job to help these patients. Rhythm Doctor's gameplay is very simple, as you only need to press the spacebar on a certain beat of the song. This acts as you syncing up the patient's heartbeat by treating them with the new technology we mentioned earlier. On early levels, you only need to hit notes on the 7th beat of the song, but as you progress through the game, later stages start including different time signatures into the mix. There is also a sort of note highway that represents the patient's heartbeat to guide players along, as you can see the beat traveling through the highway. Although this may sound boring, especially for people who play a lot more complex rhythm games, it does start giving you different types of beats to shake up this mechanic. This ranges from very quick beats to very delayed beats, which means that it starts changing up when you need to press the spacebar to match the timing. This keeps you on your toes as the timing of some songs change depending on the complexity of the beat to the music. In later levels, the game starts mixing up these types of beats in the same song, which in turn makes the song a lot more challenging, as the switching of the rhythm can throw you off guard. The later levels also introduce having to treat 2 or more patients at once, which can be quite difficult at first, but after a little practice, one should be able to get through it with no problem. When dealing with 2 patients though, 2 or more note highways will appear, and you'll have to manage playing 2 lines and keeping the beat with 2 or more of them. After the end of each area, you'll face a boss patient that has a special kind of heart problem. These can range from unstable heartbeats due to adrenaline, or even fast heartbeats due to caffeine overload. The boss songs will test all the mechanics you've learned up until that point. These can range from simple pressing of the 7th beat to more complex alternating beats. It is in these levels where the visuals truly shine. At some point, the window will start to shake or even change the beat count to try to throw you off your rhythm. All you need to do is remember the beat and get your timing right. These boss fights also have their own unique music video type gameplay. The visuals on these are quite a thing to see, and it will leave you in awe at what the developers just did with the music video. We don't want to spoil too much of these MVs, but there is one MV that makes very good use of the minimized window of the screen to deliver something that is very memorable. After completing certain levels with a high rank, you'll unlock a new mode called Night Mode, or the Night Shift. These songs mix in some of the later stage mechanics into the earlier songs to increase the challenge and difficulty. This mode is only for those who are very familiar with the mechanics, as it allows you to play a remixed version of the songs with a higher difficulty than before. The songs found here are a lot more complex and require precise timing to the beats. Although the game only requires you to press the spacebar the entire time, it does a great job of keeping you invested in it by ramping up the difficulty and by giving you more complex beats to play along with. It also helps that the game has a wonderful soundtrack to accompany you through your job as a new hospital intern. We would also replay previous levels, as it is both fun to try to get that perfect full combo on a song, or even just jam out while listening to the game's original tunes. Rhythm Doctor is marketed for players who are familiar with rhythm-type games, as the beats get very complicated in the later levels and can be quite a challenge for new players to the genre. Sure, the earlier stages are easy for newcomers to get into, but the later levels require precise timing and also a good sense of rhythm as it throws different types of beats at the player. The added difficulty and also adding more patience to treat, which makes it even more of a challenge as you have to manage multiple heartbeats, which can be difficult for new players to keep track of. We even had a difficult time keeping up with the beats of some of the songs, even though a lot of us are familiar with rhythm games here. The game has a really steep learning curve, and although you are only pressing one button the entire time, it is still a big challenge and it keeps us coming back for more. The graphics here are simple, but they work just fine for a title like this. You won't really find any high fidelity graphics here as it is a pixel art style type game. The cute pixel art serves to complement the gameplay here as the devs can get more creative in their visuals without the need of sacrificing the graphics. Since Rhythm Doctor is set in a hospital, you won't see very extravagant sights or beautiful vistas. For the most part, you will be seeing the halls of a hospital ward. For the normal songs, the game is usually a typical rhythm game. Just the usual hit the note according to the beat or when it reaches a certain point in the highway. It is during the boss MV sections where the devs get creative with their limited resources. Since the game uses very simple pixel graphics, they chose another way to make you feel at awe at the visuals. These can range from making the screen disappear or even making the audio randomly fade during the middle of a song. The boss MVs are quite a thing to experience. There were a lot of moments during the songs where we were left speechless at the visuals happening. It really shows the attention and care they put into these MV visuals. These boss fights were definitely the best part of the game, as it is here that the devs really showed how much they can do both audio and visual wise to deliver some very extraordinary effects. The audio and soundtrack is where this game truly excels. The audio cues and the way it complements the game is one of its strongest points. It is quite a nice music trip as every stage has a different type of genre of music that plays out, giving you a wide range of tunes to listen to throughout your playthrough. The game features a lot of original music for the game, which both are catchy and addicting to listen to. These range from different genres as well, from hip-hop to lo-fi, to all across the board. The songs are well written and very well made, especially the boss MV songs. It doesn't just stop with original music either. They even have collaborations with many other rhythm games like Muse Dash and Unbeatable White Label. There are currently 4 collaboration songs for both of these games, 3 from Muse Dash and 1 from Unbeatable White Label. They chose the most popular original songs from these 2 games and put their own Rhythm Doctor twist into them. And like in their own respective games, these songs are a blast to play and listen to. One thing to note is that these collab songs are on a higher end of the difficulty level, so don't expect to just jump into them as soon as you start playing, unless you are someone who is a rhythm game master. To conclude this review, we here at GameAid are giving 7th Beat Games Rhythm Doctor a 9 out of 10. Rhythm Doctor is one of those diamonds in the rough type of games in a time where Steam is full of other pixel indie titles. Although it does have a big difficulty spike in later levels, the game is both entertaining and visually pleasing, so it is still worth experiencing for rhythm game veterans and newcomers alike. Pressing only the spacebar to match the beats never gets too stale, as the game throws enough diversity and challenge in their stages to make up for the one button only mechanic. The music and MVs for this game are one of the best we've seen in a rhythm game, as the devs were not afraid to think outside the box and make full use of the tools they were given. All the boss fights were memorable, and more so to the music. For a game that is still in early access, it does have enough content for what it's currently worth, and we are definitely looking forward to more updates. We would definitely recommend Rhythm Doctor for veterans who want to try out something different, and for beginners who may choose to try it out despite the difficulty in the later stages. There's a lot of good music and great visuals that are quite a thing to behold. Some songs are so memorable that it sometimes gets stuck in our heads. Even through the simple pixel-style graphics, the developers delivered something that is very memorable and very visually pleasing that is sure to stick in the players' minds even after they finish the game. To summarize some of the pros and cons, some of the pros would be the game has a great soundtrack, which is a must for a rhythm game. The devs make good use of the pixel-style graphics to give us a nice, fun thing to look at. The boss MVs were memorable, and overall this is a very simple yet challenging rhythm game that we could not put down. Some of the cons: the game is not really beginner friendly. The gameplay may not be for everyone due to the simplicity of just pushing one button, and the learning curve for later levels is quite steep and could really turn away new players in the genre. As always, this was just our opinion. If you played the game yourself, let us know what you think. If you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. We would love to hear your opinions in the comments. As always, everyone, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.